We're at Salle and in Concord, and we're joined by Justin Alumbaugh, the head coach. Justin, first of all, I'd like to thank you for coming back from Portugal and Spain for this interview. I mean, you're a well-rounded individual. We'll get to football, but tell us about that. I mean, you're right there after both those teams lost. Did they blame you and your fiance?
No, I blame them. I wanted to watch the games. That was something we were looking forward to. We had it planned out that we were going to be in Sevilla if Spain made the quarterfinals, and then they didn't. They kind of choked away, so we still got to watch some games. But I was hoping to get kind of the ambiance.
Yeah, we'll get to football, but the games here in the afternoon, are they at night in Europe?
Yeah, they were at like 10 o'clock. Yeah, they're 9, 10 o'clock, which isn't that late for out there, but it's night.
That's when people are eating dinner.
Yeah, pretty much dinner, yeah.
And then I joke, we do this show, we do it for fun, and I send you an email, and I work for my buddy Shay Hansen, who's a teammate of yours. You get this email in Europe, and where were you?
I was at a little cafe in Lagos. It's the southern coast of Portugal. I was about to, my fiance and I were about to go something called coasteering. You climb up rocks. Basically, it's a nice way of saying you climb up rocks, jump off, and then swim across a bay. So
nice. And but you joked you had to come back to teach, you had to come back to coach. But you had to come back, but also to talk to Shay and me. So I appreciate it.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely. So, no, Justin, also, I think maybe start where it started, because your memories probably started with your brother playing, or with your De La Salle memories. Or was that correct? Or?
Yeah, and a lot of the guys that I ended up playing with at De La Salle, we didn't know it then, but we met. Once we came to De La Salle, we're like, I know you. I've met you before. And then we talked about, I used to come to almost all his games, but I never really watched the games, because we used to. There was the old snack shack. They'd always be making burgers, and then behind that, there's the grass field. We'd always play tackle football back there. During the game.
Yeah.
We'd just come back and see the final score, and we'd assume that they won. But
that might have been like you, Tari Callan, the Gelderman.
I remember Matt Gelderman was there. Matt Lumberg was there. He's another guy that played with Shay and I. There was a lot of guys that we knew. The Gelderman twins. There's a lot of guys that we knew ended up. We got to know each other a lot more, but there was a lot of guys that we met playing tackle football out in the mud and out in the dirt behind the game.
Right.
So, yeah.
So this was pre-freshman football. Who would win these games?
I don't even know if you could really call it a game. It was kind of like a melee back there. I mean, sometimes there'd be 30 guys playing in a game. It was fun, though.
Awesome.
Pretty fond memory.
I'm trying to think, well, here's another memory, and all this stuff comes courtesy of the Shay Hansen collection. And we joke is Shay played it, I taped it, Shay archived it, and I won't let people forget. I remember this. What do we have? Let me hold it up.
Yeah, that's the. They had me. They digitally put that in though. That was fake. They had me holding like a piece of cardboard or something like that. They didn't have me actually tearing the national champion things.
Okay.
But I went down to the
Times.
Times. Yeah. Yeah, they wanted me to rub dirt on my face. They said I looked too much like baby face or something.
Right,
I'm not rubbing dirt on my
exactly.
face.
You are who you are.
Yep.
And the other inside information Shay gave me is the scouting reports. I mean, because we joke. I mean, you were the linebacker. Who played linebacker with you?
My first 2 years, I played with Greg Brown Davis, who teaches. And he played. I've known him since. We were 9. We played Little League baseball together. He was on the great San Ramon Valley Little League team. I was on a great one too, but he's a year older. They made it to the Little League World Series, but we played together. And then my senior year, it was myself and DJ Williams. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that was the joke here, because here's also the not a joke, but I meant you were repping. It wasn't DJ Williams. It was you. You were the captain. You were a little older, in fairness, but. It was the scouting report. Talk about the scouting reports, because you and Greg Brown Davis even did a scouting report.
Yeah. I try and explain it to our kids these days. It's like not having the scouting report is like flying blind. You can't. It's just something that I couldn't do without. I used to devour that thing. I watched a lot of game film and everything like that, but for some reason the scouting report was something that always clicked really well for me. It helped that we were talking about that 1 year Lad made Brown Davis and I do a scouting report, and it took us all dang summer, and then we brought it back and we go, here we go, coach. We're all proud of ourselves, and Lad's like, this looks like a third grader drew it. I have to do this whole thing again. This sucks. And both Greg and I were like, the hell, man? We spent all summer on that
Exactly.
thing.
And,
But I'll give him credit. We knew that team pretty well.
yeah, I don't know if I have the Rancho Buena Vista one, but also in the Shea Hansen archives are all these scouting reports.
Yeah.
And I'll bring one in. I mean, that is, I mean, you were good, but you knew where to be on each play. I mean,
Yeah, there were some teams stayed really true to their scout, and there were a lot of times that I knew the play before, and it wasn't just me. Brown Davis was that way. A lot of our, Parker Hanks, Terrence Kelly, throughout the years, has been a lot of linebackers. Steve Lilly. A lot of us knew the play before it happened.
Exactly,
So it's kind of, I mean, some people. I was talking to somebody about it. Like, isn't that kind of like cheating? I'm like, no.
no, that's studying.
It's winning.
Exactly. And I remember it would have been when you were an assistant coach, the second Long Beach game there at Cal. Maybe if I could find it on tape, it's both Terrence Kelly and the Parker Hanks talking about they knew maybe John Chan
Chan was a defensive lineman.
Exactly. They knew where to be on each play as it was happening. And then also, usually I just have like written down questions. But Shea Hansen, I hope he worked yesterday at Golden State Carpet. I mean, I got like we don't have enough time. We have like 11 questions, but here's a good one. And he says, what De La Salle player did you admire growing up? And maybe you admired them, you didn't see him because you were playing on.
Yeah, my favorite was always Steve Lilly. That's why I took when I was a senior, I moved to tight end. I took number 45 because that was Steve Lilly's number. Steve Lilly was one of my brothers. It still is one of my brother's best friends. Obviously. My brother I liked a lot, but he was my brother,
Jason.
Jason,
okay.
Yeah, my brother Jason. He was a great player here. Obviously looked up to him. But guys like Steve Lilly, John Flackel. Obviously watching I used to watch Patrick Walsh, but especially Flackel and Lilly. Those guys were, and Garth Adlow. Those guys were my brother's best friends. And then so they'd be hanging out at the house, and then I'd come watch them a little bit, watch them play, and it was kind of surreal. So yeah, Lilly was one that I always, he's kind of crazy.
Right. Well, actually, in football, a little crazy is good, I think.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think there was once I became a senior that those guys were coming home from college, and they'd always put on my gear and do flips into the pool wearing my gear.
Okay.
Like, don't break my helmet.
You need it. You need that helmet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But those are guys I always looked up to.
But I think it was Patrick Walsh, your brother. The streak ended, and they started the streak.
Yeah,
exactly.
My brother was he was a starting tackle on the team, on the '92 team.
92,
the team that
exactly.
Started the streak.
And then that's the photo there. You guys in '97, and then Shea had a question about that. Let's see here, that College Park game. That was a big deal there at DVC. What are your memories of that night?
A lot of media. There were a lot of cameras. There were a lot of people at that game too. I wasn't any more nervous or anything for that game than any others. I was always pretty nervous about every game, but I just remember a lot of media. I remember feeling bad for a couple of guys. One of my best friends, Matt Costello, I still vividly remember. He blew out his knee earlier in the year. I felt bad that he wasn't able to play. I remember that. That was a sad moment for me, but it was a lot of fun. I felt a lot of joy, especially having the connection with my brother and his friends. He was on the team that started the win streak.
Yeah.
We were on the team that broke the win streak, so I thought that was neat. It wasn't the last game of the year though, so it wasn't some coronation or anything.
Exactly.
We had a game the next week too.
And
so
Ladder and Edson wouldn't let you forget that.
no, they wouldn't. So it was something that we had to you had to forget pretty quickly.
Right, and I'm trying to think the Hudson guys being there. I think they came all the way from Michigan.
Yeah, there's a number of those guys there. Those guys were really nice. They were really gracious. They They were really supportive. They talked to us a little bit, I think, after the game. Remember, we got free Taco Bell too back at what used to be the cafeteria. Remember that?
Right. Okay.
That was great.
And then also, do you remember? Maybe it was the year after. This one mom made like these candy bars that said like Spartan Crunch, and of course we'll bring up Shea Hansen ate the candy. But he still has the wrapper.
He still has the wrapper.
I mean, he has everything. I mean, and speaking of that, this is another thing from the collection. People remember you as a linebacker. Here you are as a tight. You must scoring against Pittsburgh.
38 power pass. We still run that one. Yeah. I remember I scored on this, and then right after I got cheap shot by that guy.
No, number 3.
Yeah, he came in. He cheap shotted me in the back of the end zone.
Let's see
Then
if
our
we-
right guard Carson Brown came
Right.
out and took care of him. So we're the ones that got a 15-yard penalty.
We might be able to find him. His name is Stephen Jones.
There we go. We might have to track him down.
Exactly, and find out what was that about.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Carson Brown got to him pretty quickly.
Then,
So.
well, that's it. There's justice at times
Yeah.
on a football field.
We got the flag. That's always the second guy, but we got the flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Vlad wasn't very happy about that.
No. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, there's so many things to cover. Let me go back to my list here. Actually, I have a question from a Dave Biller. Tell people who Dave Biller is.
Oh, Biller was a year behind me. He was a great offensive lineman here. Went over to St. Mary's. He's doing some reffing now. He's pretty classic. I played basketball with him the other day. Strong.
Exactly.
Bouncing around pretty well, but he's an old Spartan.
Exactly, and he's sort of casual because Shea said Biller actually got back to me with this. Okay, so his question is, let's see here. Oh yeah, this is actually a good question. It says compare the football program from the '90s to today.
It's the core of the program and the core. The main ideas are identical. It's the same. Everything's the same as what it was. Nothing's changed in that regard. Discipline, hard work. We're still pulling tires. We're still, still running track. We're still running liners. The lift is a lot harder.
Right.
Our lift is a little bit different, a lot harder than it used to be. Something that's different is there's just a lot more. It's a different, it's a different world. I mean, there's no cell phones. There was
Right.
no, I got to check our kids' Twitters and
Yeah.
things like that. It's just a different world. There's a lot more distractions for kids. So a lot of our time is spent getting kids less distracted, I guess you could say. It's also a little different because our generation, we grew up, on the streets playing sports and things like that. Some of these kids never did much growing up or anything like that. It was just they had access to computers and video games, and they did a lot less of rolling around in the dirt and getting hurt. And we had a kid a couple of years ago where I think he sprained his ankle or something like that, and he was taking it kind of weird. And I'm like, have you ever been hurt before? And he's like, no, coach, I've never been hurt. I'm like, how have you never been hurt your entire life?
Right. No, I'm thinking. So these kids then they're not playing football behind the bleachers like
there'd be a lawsuit now.
That's it. I mean, so there's no way. That's right. There's too much money involved.
Yeah.
So you guys can't. Maybe you could look the other way, but there's probably somebody above you here at De La Salle that put the kibosh on that.
Well, the cameras too. It's a different age, but the core principles are the same. But society has changed and the world has changed around them. So it's some of the main differences, like I said, is just there's more. Well, there's a lot more people around. There's a lot more attention being given.
Right.
It's more, not here, but high school football is a little bit more like a business now.
Right.
It wasn't, it used to be rankings or something. You just open up USA Today once a week. I remember we used to look forward to that. Now there's computer rankings and message boards and all that. So it's different in that regard. But for any alumni, if they came by and they came into the weight room, it'll feel just like 1995, 96. They come out to the track. The only difference is it's an all-weather track, not that old beat-up dirt track that we used to have. But some of those tires are probably the same ones that I pulled.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. And then what about like Bob Laddister? I mean, I find this fascinating. Or this, I'm a big fan of sports history. You guys are like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Since 1969, the Pittsburgh Steelers have 3 coaches: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
And I think the Raiders have had 3 coaches in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And here at De La Salle, I think starting 60, Ed Hall up until 78, Bob Laddister 79 until I think you took over in 2013, and now you. I mean, talk about that. I mean, I don't know if it's pressure. I talked to Terry Edson about this. I couldn't handle that. I mean, what's it like learning from him, and he's still here? I mean,
yeah,
which is good.
That's great. Yeah, some people don't believe it, but like literally, his desk is like right next to mine. He's one of my best friends. We talk all the time. To learn from him was, and I still do. I mean, it's he's a pretty fascinating character. He's a lot more. Everybody that played for him knows. A lot of the media and everything that like St. Lad or they make him seem like a monk or something like that. Everybody that played for him, especially back in the '80s and the '90s, he has a lot more fire in him than sometimes is portrayed. And it's he's a funny guy. He's very sarcastic and witty. So it's been fun. It's always fun interacting with him. It's great learning from him. taking over for him, yeah, there's pressure. There's quite a bit of pressure. The guy won 98% or whatever his record was, 399 and 25 or whatever it was. Yeah, there's quite a bit of pressure. But that's what it is. I don't walk around going, oh no, I got to make sure. Too busy for that. We got trying to get kids on board, trying to get kids working hard, trying to get them accountable. Just came from tutoring. There's not quite enough time to think about grand questions like that. But yeah, there's certainly pressure.
You actually talk about that. People know you as a coach. You're a teacher.
Yeah.
And you were tutoring today. Talk about that. A day in the life of Justin Alumbaugh. It's football, but there's more to it.
Oh, far more to it. Yeah, football's no doubt. Football's a big part of my life. My fiance jokes about it. She's a little bit too big of a part sometimes, but there's a lot of other things that we do. Even during summer, all of us, a vast majority of our coaches, we're teachers as well. I teach. Even today, some kids that were in summer school.
What were you tutoring today?
English.
English, okay.
Yeah, we're working on a thesis statement.
Right,
today.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty riveting stuff.
That's all right, Justin.
But no, you come by, especially during the school year. I take as does Terry and Lad. We take our teaching every bit as seriously as our coaching. It's this. I get asked that question a lot. So it's education's education, whether it's on a football field or whether it's in a classroom. You're trying to get across to, in this case, teenagers, young men.
Right.
And, the girls from Crown Lake, you're trying to get them on board with, whatever it is that we're trying to do, learning in English or, weight room, getting tougher and getting stronger, whatever it is, but it's just trying to get them on board as best you can.
Life lessons. That's why I talked to Terry. It's football, it's school, but it's about life.
Yeah. Accountability and hard work and, being around people that care about you, that's a good thing to have pretty much everywhere. So
Absolutely.
That's something that we're working on.
I don't know how we transition to this, but I don't know if I can do this in every interview. I brought this to Terry Etzen. What do we have here?
It's Cobra.
And so that's the thing. See, some of the, like Shea Hansen played, he knew that Terry Etzen was Cobra. He didn't understand why. You've actually seen the movie.
Oh, this is one of my favorite movies. I love this movie.
Okay.
The guy that plays the killer in this is creepy.
Exactly, but it is. Look at the back. It's or even the front actually. The tagline's perfect. Crime is a disease. Meet the cure. And basically, that's what Terry.
He's carrying the matchstick in his mouth.
Exactly, the matchstick in his mouth. The strong arm of the law. And then it's about it's exciting. If you missed Rambo, Cobra is secure. But no, I joke about this movie. It is, I don't know if it's inspirational, but if Terry Etzen would show it to you guys and become this guy, because it's about a guy winning, overcoming all odds.
Yeah, and kind of living on the edge a little bit, sort of a lot of alumni appreciate like Lunatic Fringe, living on
the song. Okay, yeah, and I'm trying to think what we transition to here. Let me look. I got, as I said, usually I just write stuff out. Shea Hansen gave me all these detailed questions. He had, not only did he save everything, he has every TV appearance from like about 1996 to 1998, including Mornings on 2, where you were slightly slandered.
Not slightly. Lad threw me under the bus. I remember that. Said I was like 265, the heaviest guy on our team.
Set the record straight, because I might. How much did you weigh in high school?
I was about 240 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. That's all right. He told me to gain weight.
Right, exactly. And you were the biggest guy on the team.
I wasn't the biggest. I was one of the bigger guys. There were some guys that were bigger than me.
Right.
But I was 235, 240, something like that. I wasn't 260.
People talk like my buddy Shea Hansen. I don't know. I might be like 5'10", 5'11". He might be 6 feet. If he walks in, he started at wide receiver. There's
a good player.
He'll remind you, year after you graduate, he scored a touchdown against St. Francis. And again, we have it on tape. But that's what it is. Where it was Bob Latters's quote, where below average players become average. Average become good. Good become excellent. Excellent become elite. Is that still the motto here?
It's not a motto, but it's something that we try and do. And we don't really, as far as, I'd love everybody, to be a great athlete, but that's not what we have. That's not what we have. The main thing is maximizing each and every one of our players, potential, individual potential. Some guys are naturally really good, but we want them to get every bit as much better as, some of the guys that are less so. But, De La Salle's, the program's built on a lot of normal guys. It's, you know, a lot of people know the superstar names, and deservedly, those guys were really good. But you know, I could list throughout the years. I could list hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guys that were the backbone of the program and the teams, and they were just really normal guys. You know, guys. I mean, me, Shea, Greg Round. I mean, so you know, some guys were better than others, but a lot of us are just pretty normal guys.
Exactly, and you're on the cover there of Contra Costa Times, but 3-4 months later, you played your last game. I mean, you play. I mean, that's it. I mean, high school, you played. You played some baseball at UCLA, but basically a student. Mm-hmm. And then I joke, this is basically you've had. Yeah, actually, no. I was like, this is your only. What other jobs did you have before this?
Besides teaching and coaching, there wasn't odd jobs to make get some money in college. I was waited tables, flower delivery boy. I was a barista at a drive-through coffee shop.
Is this down in Westwood or?
No, that one was up here over at Alumbaugh Plaza. Espresso to go. I don't think it's called Espresso to go anymore.
Right.
Down in college, I waited tables. I waited tables up here too, and then took a lot of odd jobs like that, just to make ends meet. But no, as far as professionally, or as a vocation, all I know is teaching and coaching.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll go get a couple more because literally you got to get out there, and you're very generous. I mean, and that's also a joke. Where are we right now?
We're literally in the film room.
and we're filming. I mean, so this is appropriate.
We got about a bunch of old archive tapes up there from.
Oh, I mean, Shea Hansen might want to go look through those.
We're trying to get them all digitized, but it takes a little while. It's all the old VHS.
Wow. And then, here's something. The streak, this comes from Shea Hansen. The streak and its meaning has always been downplayed by Coach Lattiser and Coach Edson. But being that you played during that time and broke the record, what does the streak mean to you?
I mean, I thought it was. I thought it was something that was. I mean, for me, it was special because I thought it was our way of giving back to the program and giving back to the school. Like I said, my brother was on the team that started the streak. It meant a lot to me to kind of fulfill what he started, kind of finish what he started, finish what his friends started. And for me, it wasn't necessarily about breaking a win streak or anything like that. It's just kind of, we held up our end of the bargain like many teams have. And for me, I mean, looking back on that, I don't think about the streak necessarily as much, but I think about, when I think about old high school days or anything like that, I think about the camaraderie and the hard work and the fact that, we did things the right way, and we, like I said, we held up our end of the bargain. It resulted, we were just the lucky ones that had the win streak, fall on our year, but it's something, the fulfillment of what a lot of guys had started and worked really hard for. I mean, that's something that I hold with me.
Also, it's the hard work. I mean, it's the Concord heat. I mean, it's the summer conditioning. It's those tires you mentioned. I think even before you work on a formation or run a running play, it's all about getting through the summer.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and
still the same.
Yeah.
You can hear the weights banging.
Exactly.
We just started it.
You probably coming back from UCLA. You probably had a lot of opportunities. Why did you return to De La Salle?
Being an educator was always something that I thought about doing. I'm not going to say that I was born to be a teacher and a coach or anything like that. My sister's a professor out on the East Coast, so I had some, there's some family ties there. But it was something that I'd always thought about. And coaching here, Ladd and Edson, they asked me to come back because we started school so late at UCLA that I could coach through the summer and the first 3 or 4 games of the year. Then I'd come back for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. And I knew I loved coaching. I knew, I figured teaching would be, in a similar vein. I almost took some sales jobs and things like that. And, Ladd and Edson kind of talked me into really giving it a try. As they thought it would be something that I'd enjoy, and they thought it'd be something that I was good at. And I thought I had a tie. I obviously have a tie to De La Salle, but I had kind of a hankering to give teaching a try, and this was a natural fit. This is a place that I feel like home. There's certainly great places, other schools that that do wonderful things, but this was a place that I felt really comfortable at. This is a place that that helped mold me in a really positive manner, I think. So it was somewhere that I felt like was really comfortable for me, but I knew I was going to be challenged in the way that, there's a high standard to uphold.
Yeah, sure.
So some people, a natural question like, oh, you teach at the high school that you went to. I'm like, yeah, no, I know. It's like going home, but it's also, this place is constantly challenging you. Kids change every year, and the kids have a way of challenging you all the time. So I felt comfortable, but I also felt challenged enough where it was a place that I felt, it would be it'd be a great place to spend my time.
And also, there's a lot of guys like you who have come back. I mean,
a ton. Yeah.
I mean,
we have a lot of alumni teachers. We got a lot of alumni coaches. Yeah.
Right. I mean, a fun question. This also comes courtesy of Shea. One game, who was kicking the extra points?
Me.
Do you remember what game? And do you remember the stat? You remember the stats? So.
I think I missed one. I was 3 for 4 or 4 for 5 on PATs. And I got to do half the kickoffs. I think Atari Cowan did the other half.
Right. No, but I joke. There was a guy I went to school with, Doug Bryan, who I joke parlayed De La Salle would score a lot of touchdowns, but he parlayed 4 of 6 field goals at De La Salle
into an NFL career. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Granted, he got better at Cal.
Yeah, I didn't have any NFL aspirations as a kicker. I wasn't that good.
No, exactly. No, but no.
It was fun though. One of the funniest part was a phone call I got from one of my buddies. He's like, "Are you kidding?" Because he saw, in the paper it goes.
Oh, they thought it was
a Cowan 27-yard run, Alumbaugh kick for the PAT, and he called me. He was like, "Are you kicking?" I'm like, "You know it, brother."
Absolutely. And here's another one. What did he write here? It says, here. Let's say a team, because you guys are at the record was 151. So Shea asked if another team gets to like 100, do you want Leo to give that school a call and get them on the schedule?
Sure. I mean, if it's a good fit, we'd always you don't want to make everything about the streak, but I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm not going to lie about it. If the team was in the hundreds or something like that, yeah, we'd want to give them a call for sure.
Okay, there you go.
I know there was a team a few years, Independence or something like that.
Yeah, Charlotte or something?
Yeah, they were good, really good. And a team starts creeping up there. I'm not going to pull any punches. Yeah, we'd like to play them.
So what would the threshold, like 100, 110? You have to decide.
I don't know. I'll leave that part up to Leo. But
right. Yeah.
I'll say definitely. Yeah. As the coach, yeah, we definitely want to pursue that game.
Right. Okay. No, I can't. This really could not have gone any better, Justin. To know that you wanted to participate, to know what that Shea and I are doing is fun. And Shea told me you're a good guy, and I've learned that in a big way today. And I can't thank you enough.
Oh no, it's my pleasure. Yeah, I'll sit down whenever.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, thanks, Justin, and thanks for tuning in. Also, we came up with a tagline. This also I talk a lot, Justin, but a lot of this was the production was done in the street in front of Shea's house because Christy's there inside with the 2 young kids, Ava and Johnny. So they're asleep. So we're about the only, most people are looking for darkness, like drug deals. We're looking for a street light. And we talked and we came up with this tagline. It was, Shea played it, I taped it, Shea archived it, I won't let people forget. So thanks for watching, and I don't know who we're talking next, but it can't be anybody better than Justin Alumbaugh. I appreciate this, Justin. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.